Hey guys, Alberto Cortez Jr., aka Lance Danger here. And I was at my local comic book shop. They had a bunch of Blue Beetle stuff there to promote the movie, and I was just wondering, are any of you excited for the Blue Beetle movie that's coming out soon in maybe like a week? It's going to be the Jaime Reyes version of Blue Beetle. I personally grew up with the Ted Cord Blue Beetle. That was pretty much in Justice League America. And I've always liked the character, actually. I've always enjoyed that character, especially, the stories Booster Gold and Blue Beetle, Blue and Gold, and whatnot, how they call them, that team up. I always thought they were good characters that complemented each other, especially when Dan Jurgens was writing them. I always had a lot of fun with the character. And I'm not too familiar with Jaime Reyes because that character came out at a point where I had stopped reading mainstream comics in the mid to late 2000s. I had given up on reading mainstream comics for like maybe 5 6 years, so I pretty much missed out on the introduction of that character. What brought me back was pretty much the new 52, because I was really excited about Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, because my girlfriend had given me as a gift back then Batman the Black Mirror, which was the first story I ever read from Scott Snyder, which is that trade that collected that small run that Scott Snyder had on Detective Comics. And the artists were Francisco Francavilla and Jock, alternating on the artwork while Scott Snyder was writing it. And I absolutely loved it. So when a new Batman title was announced with Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo going back into a big book as well, big book in the sense of going back to one of the big two, and on top of it being Batman, like, of course I had to come back to the mainstream with that alone. I still didn't really catch up with Blue Beetle, so now the Jaime Reyes version is going to be coming out in the theaters in about a week. And I've been curious about the movie. Like, I do want to see it. I do like the actor. I forget his real name, but he's Miguel in Cobra Kai. I like him well enough. So I think he'll do a pretty decent job. And I don't know, I was just wondering how excited people are for this movie. And it's kind of hard to also kind of get a feel for it with the SAG-AFTRA and the writers' strike as well. They're not able to promote the movie like they would have liked to have promoted it, like other big movies as well this summer, this late summer rather, that they haven't been able to promote their movies the ways they've been wanting to. And I don't know, I kind of saw the promotion in that local comic book shop that I go to, and it kind of got me excited for the movie. I actually got the trade paperback of the first appearance of Jaime Reyes, like that first story and whatnot, just to get more familiar with the character itself. Like, I know there's likely going to be a ton of changes from the comic book to the movie and whatnot, because there's always changes when they adapt when they adapt something from one medium to the other. Media from one thing to the other. So I'm looking forward to reading that. I'm looking forward to the movie. Us nerds and geeks have been really pampered over the last couple of decades with all these comic book movie adaptations. Some are kind of hit and miss, but we've really gone into like the golden age pretty much of comic book adaptations when it comes to superhero movies and such. Movies like The Dark Knight, movies like Deadpool, even, that you wouldn't have thought 20 years ago that it was going to be such a big hit. And it's become like the first Deadpool at least became like one of the top comic book movies ever. It's definitely one of the best adaptations I've ever seen of a comic book as well. And even like the smaller indie comics, well, indie in terms of not being Marvel or DC, something like a Kick-Ass or a Kingsman and stuff like that. It's just an amazing time to be a geek, really. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are on Jaime Reyes. If you are a Jaime Reyes fan, if you want to like point me to any comics that he's been in that are, that you really like, let me know also, and I'll try to check it out as well. Anyway, thank you all for listening. Catch you all next time.